It's our TED Talks. Today topic is I forgot. Connected connected by alone, and we have a nice company here after long vacation, long summer vacation. We finally have Diana and Gerard, and we, teacher Lee and I, always here. We live here in this TED TED class, and we have only few questions from our most disciplined member, Gerard. Nobody else.
I was the
Yeah.
last, but you talk about the many things, but I only posted some questions.
I post a question in the form of long story. I try to rephrase it in something short and give you my variants to teacher Lee, but he said it's bad. It doesn't work.
I don't believe that teacher Lee could say that to you. No, never.
I
He
rephrase
invited you. Yes, you rephrase in your way. Very positive one. Okay.
Yes, that's right. So where are we ready to start? Can someone sum up the video in a few words?
Very pessimistic one. I don't know what happened to me when I picked that one and offered it to you. I prefer, very light videos, funny, happy, and everything. And then I read the story read by teacher Lee, and he depressed me, even more. Yes. So now I just don't know how to sum it up. So depression, dark and dull future ahead of us. So that's my summary.
I did put a few notes on the whiteboard that I thought were kind of highlights of the lecture.
Can you please share the link here in the group chat, please? Yeah, thank you.
I just did.
Yes, thank you.
And basically, it's talking about cell phones, technology today. Are they changing who we are? And he's talking about our cell phones allow us to be together while we're alone, or kind of you're connected to other people electronically, but you physically are by yourself, or you're focused on your screen and not seeing the people around you. So it's we're connected, but are we alone? And he says the reason for this is people are getting to the point where they want to control their attention span. If they're listening to a lecture, they only want to hear a couple pieces they want to hear, and then they want to be doing something else. So you can only get their attention for a few seconds. And if you don't hook their attention, it's going to go somewhere else. And they want to control what they are looking at all times, every second. So he referred to people want to control where their attention is. He talked about the Goldilocks effect. You want your friends to be not too close where they take up too much of your time or attention. You don't want them too far away where you never talk to them. You want them at just the right distance from you, so you can control when you talk to them and when you don't have to talk to them. And he calls that the Goldilocks effect. And people, because of that keeping people at a distance where they can turn you on or off at will, it makes us feel like nobody really is listening to us. Nobody cares about us. So we're feeling like by having all these remote connections that people can turn their attention to us on and off at will, we feel kind of like nobody's listening to me. Nobody cares about what I have to say. And it's making us feel lonely in that regard, so that the machine, like Cortana or Siri, the computer, actually becomes our closest friend, which is kind of sad if you think about it. And they said we're so busy communicating with people that we don't really ever stop and think about what we're trying to communicate or what we need to communicate. We're just constantly talking. Just the need to feel connected to someone makes us want to just talk, just to make us feel like someone's listening. So it to me is kind of a sad situation we're in now. So he said that there's 3 cell phone fantasies. We can put our attention wherever we want to. We'll always be heard, and we'll never have to be alone. So, you know, Twitter is one of these examples. To me, I actually believe Twitter is a great evil because it allows any idiot anywhere in the world to say something that millions and millions of people can read, and it's like, why do I need to listen to this one guy? Who is he? And why does he deserve my attention? And does he know what he's talking about? And you can spew hatred all over the internet, like Trump, you know, or people. Somebody does something wrong, and millions of people go to Twitter and say, you're an idiot, you're stupid. You know, what kind of social media is that? So that's kind of what I got from the video. Is that good or bad? Is that kind of instant connectivity that's kind of at a distance, is that good or bad?
Yes, but it's only one side, it's only one point of view of this, I don't know what is this, it's process or something. Gerard, please.
Yes, I was about to say the same. That's one point of view of this internet communication. She's talking about writing communication when people want to show their best, to show off. It's a part of the internet communication because the internet communication we have right now is very different from the one the speaker talks. So it's not, it doesn't have to be necessarily negative. But if you look at one thing from some positive or negative perspective, you can have a biased point of view.
I agree. So, but it's a good topic because it's kind of controversial. For myself, I cannot decide where is I am, in which group. Should I say no, it's all bad, or should I say it's maybe good? I don't know. It's maybe bad. It's maybe good. It's depend how you use.
It's like the real life, you know. It cannot be just all bad and all good, you know. There is something in the middle. So I think that the thing the speaker told us about was that she is watching the process, the using the technology as a process, because she said that she wrote a book about it like 15 or even 20, because the talk was like a couple of years ago, right? So almost 20 years of almost 20 years she was using technology. She was online, yes, and she could watch this as a process. So she says that the tendencies which she can see now is not really positive. So she says that people are kind of alone, but they cannot understand what real solitude is. Yes, they cannot enjoy it because they cannot. There is no self-reflection. She repeated several times. People cannot self-reflect. Is it correct? Am I saying it correctly? Okay. So. And that's the problem, she thinks. So the problem is not that people are spending a lot of time online. The problem is that they are not communicating as such. They are just, as Teacher Lee just said, yeah, on Twitter they just say something like a stupidest thing, but this is not a real conversation. So as I like that quote or a question she quoted of someone, I don't remember who, but I put it down somewhere, about this Twitter thing. I think if I find it, I will read it. So one guy asked, don't all those little tweets can be like a big gulp of real conversation? So that was funny, because she says that really those little sips of information, they are not a real conversation. People just spreading a bit of the thought, not really a full thought, or they said, okay, I share something. So another good thing that she pointed out, I share something that means that I exist. So, but it's not really so. So now sharing means that we are present somewhere, that we exist, and we try to share as much as we can in order to show that I'm here, just look at me, look at me. But we're not speaking to each other, we're not listening, we cannot make ourselves to listen to another person, to even if we don't agree something, we're just she says that we are looking at the phones at the funerals, which is kind of, you know, tacky, I think, and well, awful actually. But she says, on the other hand, she says that we have some optimistic sides on that. Yeah, we have something to work on. She says that we can. Okay, what was that? She says that not everything is so bad as it seems, probably, because we can start thinking of this solitude as a good thing. We can show the value of the solitude to our children, and she sees the future in that. So probably she shows us some ways out of this situation. Well,
okay, let me play the role of devil advocate. I forget.
Okay. Yes, devil's advocate. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I don't think the problem is in Twitter. I hear much conversation, much shallow conversation in a bar, in a, you know, in some conversation in an offline conversation when nobody is interested in each side. They just show on, you know, I have a vacation. It was a spectacular view, blah 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 blah, and nobody listens. And I don't know why they do that, but it's not about internet. I hear the same on the phone many times. When my mother speaks on the phone, I don't understand how she can deliver information, because it's only a few phrases. Okay, and what about she? And what about that's all. So I don't know. Is there any information, or it's just a conversation when nobody listens? So I don't think it's about technology. Yes, sure.
Yeah, I think that the gist of those internet communication is many people like to be the center of attention, they show off and showcase their lives. The greatest example would be Facebook, because most of the people they only post positive things. It looks like their life is wonderful. And other people are envious of that, but actually that's not true. They're making up reality and disguising it. So I don't know. Is there a sort of? It looks like is there a sort of contest of showing off? Another thing is, you know, these videos doing crazy things and risky things, to showing off, to say, okay, I'm here, I'm doing something special. Watch me. I'm here. I want you to comment and saying like, thumbs up.
And excuse me, and I can't agree. I can't agree again, because I think that even if you exaggerate some event, even if you show in more positive way than it was, it's still better that you spread the negative. It's in my opinion, I think so. So, and for me it's very natural for people to
brag.
To brag, yes, to be the center of attention. So it's very hard, but it's not even so. I saw many cases when people brag not about their achievement, but about I don't know, about sportsmen, about country, about something like that. So what interesting to them? So like that. So my point was and again, it's not about the internet. The same on the phone, the same on I don't know how to. Yeah, some party when people meet each other and have a casual conversation. All this casual conversation just soulless. It's about nothing. It's about boast for me.
Maybe the difference is that information on the internet can reach more people than in
Right.
the real life. In the real life, the people that know your feeds is more limited. So the difference to reach more people, and people don't like to say their problems, explain their problems to people that they even don't know.
Yes, but 1 century ago, we have newspapers which write this guy said to that guy something. I forgot the word for this. How's the ball? Diana, help me. How it's named? The party
know.
when the high society bows to each other.
I don't know. I don't know how.
Teacher Lee, help us, please. Some party for high society, some event when many people meet each other.
Reception, probably reception. No, are you talking about the reception? No. Ball. I don't know. In the ballroom.
Yes.
The old newspapers used to have what we call the social section, and that's where they always took photographs of big parties, big balls, rich people's parties. They would always take pictures of all the pretty women in their dresses and all the men having a good time. And that was for high society to see what other people in high society are doing.
So Yellow Pages now are doing the same job, right? So they're talking about celebrities, and actually it's pretty much the same. Yeah,
yes,
I wanted.
Now we are celebrities in the Facebook.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Everybody can be a celebrity on Instagram or on Facebook and everything. So, but I think that her point, Sherry's point, was the other thing. Yeah, we're talking about the adult people, right? Adult people who are can spread anything or not spread anything on the internet. But she was talking also about children. So when a child, the formative years, so to say, yes, the child is spending with the phone in the hand. So and the child is communicating with this little I don't know, like words or phrases or just a couple of words, tweets, whatever. So, and do you remember the example she gave about this 18-year-old boy who said that someday I would love to learn how to make a conversation. So at 18 years old, this is a grown man for me, yeah, 18. So he is that someday in future he would like to learn how to make a conversation, and this is a problem. This is symptomatic already, because he's not alone in his desire to make a conversation. So, and then we're talking that young people cannot understand one another. They cannot communicate at all. They cannot find I don't want to say that all young people are like that. Not, of course not. But more and more people spending all their time in this safe environment, in this controlled environment, where they can do what they want and when they want, when they can get out if the situation is not favorable for them, and they can jump in and start bullying someone when they are in a group, you know. So that's, I think, what she was talking about and pointed out in her talk. What do you think about that, Ivan? Would you like your children to be to learn how to communicate in this environment, controlled and closed?
There is two, maybe 3 points. First of all, I'm pretty happy that we don't have internet when I was young, because I cannot express myself how happy I am because of that. Because I'm still stupid, but now I am smart enough compared to that days. And what I share in the internet, it will be a shame for all my life, for all my for rest of my life. It's definitely I even don't joke about it about that. It's the first point. The second point about my children. I think that I can't teach them to the best option here because they will live in new society, a society with new rules of communication, and I'm just the old grump, and I cannot teach them. So I don't want what to better for them, and I just hope that they find the way, the better way. I will help, but maybe it will be bad help for them. And the third point. I already forgot.
Okay.
So the third point. When I was young, I was a pretty mathematical geek. I didn't communicate with other people. My way of communication was I solve some equation, put envelope it to some Moscow University for checking. That's all. I never played on street. I never communicate with other children, and I never think that I need that or I do it some wrong way or something like that. It's changed somehow without my attention, without my family attention. So like that. So I think the children are smarter already than we are, so they will find a way.
Yeah, that's for sure. But okay. Yes, so I agree that probably this is the beginning of the new world, and we will be somewhere on the side of this new wonderful world of technology.
I don't know. We can teach. I'm trying to teach my boy. Don't be shy. I always encourage him. Just go and get acquainted with this boy and play with them. And if you will have a fist fight, it's okay. Nobody cares. Just do something. Don't sit here. Don't read or look at my smartphone or something that it works. But I don't know. Is it a good job for? It's a good not job. What? It's a good advice for him or not? I don't know. Because maybe in his world, all of them will sit down and look at this smartphone, and the alpha man will be that one who do it in the best way.
Yeah, alpha male with the bigger smartphone. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just don't know, but I'm trying. I'm trying because I hate when people look at these smartphones too, and
yes.
But maybe it's just because I'm old already.
Yeah. We don't have young people here, right? in our conversation group, so we cannot have the other opinion, the opinion of the younger generation.
But we have all these scenes which mentioned in video on our loops. We communicate over internet. We are bossed. I am bossed by my photos, so we have all these things. Teacher Lee, please.
Diana brought up a good point, is there's no young people here. One of the problems with our society is that young people and old people don't generally mix. The old people tend to move along in the career paths together, and the young people come in at the other end, but we rarely have young people and old people working together where we can hear the young people's concerns and confusion, and they can take advantage of our experience and knowledge to advise them. So when you only have young kids with young kids, they're missing that older experience element of information that they can learn from and maybe benefit from. So they can't help each other because they're experiencing the same problem of being young and not knowing what they ought to be doing, so
yeah.
Good point. How do we fix that?
Another thing, also older people tend to think badly about younger generations, to think that they are idle, that they don't work as hard we did in the past and everything. It's, you know, they think about us that older people are not able to understand them. So it's in this battle, this struggle has ever been there in all the generations.
Sometimes I saw a nice picture about that. So it's from ancient Greeks when they quotes like young generation can do nothing and
Yeah.
the world is going nowhere and the last good year was when Alexander was the king.
Macedonian was born. Yes, the last good year, fruitful year. Yes, yes.
Since then, it's going nowhere because the young people
Sure.
just trash.
Absolutely, and somehow we're still here. Right.
Yes. It's because the reality change for every new generation. It's my thought about it.
You just reminded me about this. I read somewhere, I don't remember where. Oh my goodness! So about the radio. When the radio first appeared, the old guys said, "You shouldn't listen to it because this is evil. Your brain will, you know, just I don't know, probably flow through your ears or something like that because it's all evil." And then the radio somehow survived, yes, and it is still here. So, and our brain is still in our head. So now technology. So mobile phones are the main evil. So, okay.
Yes.
You know, and on the other hand, I see a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of young people, younger than me, like, okay, 20 years younger, who are creative, who are articulate, who are, well, okay, passionate about something, you know, about some things in their lives. So not all young people are the same. So probably we shouldn't generalize as well. Well,
Yes, I think that the technology, the internet, give us much more opportunities, and many people use them. Many young people use them. They speak perfect English in young age because they can communicate with natives, which I never was able to that. And
right.
they speak languages, they learn something, and much more. So it's a big opportunity. But in general, people don't like. To work hard. That's why not many people learn languages, but many people chat on Facebook about, I don't know, Katy Perry or something like this. But it's okay. It's always been the same. It's okay. It's always was the same. When I solved equation in my young time, young age, other people drink beer. It's okay. So
sure.
And maybe the same was in the time of ancient Greek. They can do something like that.
Right. Some people who do something useful with the technology, they don't have time to share some things on Facebook probably or on Twitter. So they're just using technology in the helpful way, you know, something useful, something productive. Well, yeah.
And for instance, some Twitters are very useful.
Sure, yes.
I know some owners of Twitter who is very famous in IT world, and everyone wait for their Twitter, what they write, what they will write. So like that.
Right.
So let's do not call the Twitter everything. Let's say that the people always the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the most positive thing for me from the internet and the technology is that I can speak in English with all people from many countries in a level that 20 years ago I should go to live in the US or Britain at least for 1 year or two to get more than an intermediate level, because it is impossible here to learn a good English. In my place it was almost impossible. And that's great.
It's a big opportunity. I still remember when I was chatting with my brother, I write a letter and after wait for 2 weeks and got a letter back and write again.
Yes.
Now I can just call because it and it wasn't too far away. It was in Russia.
Right. Yes.
So I think we, how to say, the technology not guilty anymore. We proved it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the problem today is a lot of people let the technology control them.
Mm.
That's where it becomes a problem. And I
Right.
typed a comment into the chat area. This Pokemon Go game is a prime example, okay?
Okay, I don't know what is it. Can you explain what this Pokemon Go game is? Because I just don't follow this stuff. What is it?
It uses your cell phone.
Yeah.
You play this game, and it uses your camera, so you can see the real world through your camera.
Okay.
But the game superimposes Pokemon characters on your screen,
Mm-hmm.
as if you're looking at it over here.
Okay. Okay.
So you look here and you say, oh, there's a Pokemon over there. I can see it. He's sitting on that bench. So you walk over there and you touch the screen and you capture the Pokemon creature.
Oh, okay.
And you just go around with your phone, walking around, and it'll say, oh, there's a Pokemon close by. Go left. So you walk left. Go forward. Oh, I see it. I see it. It's right there. Touch, and you catch it.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is people are like this, walking around with their cell phone, looking for the Pokemon creatures. And they walk out in front of a car, and they get hit by a car, and they die.
Oh, my goodness.
They do like this, and they say, oh, there's a Pokemon on that cliff. And they walk over there, and they walk off the cliff and fall to their death.
Oh, my goodness.
People are dying playing the Pokemon game, looking for things that aren't there. They're so bored, they have to use their phone to tell them what to do, and then they die doing it. That's a case where technology is controlling their lives to the point where they die. For what reason? To play a stupid game. One black guy in America, he was driving his car playing Pokemon.
Oh, my goodness.
And he crashes into a police car.
Oh,
The policeman arrests him, and he says, that's what I get for playing that dumbass game.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's a case where people are letting technology control their lives.
Well, it's kind of addiction, I guess. I think that's, yeah. But it just comes to me, you know, if a world were a village, so that would be the way to find the idiots of the village, you know, just to show them the Pokemon Go game, and you will find them.
But, you know, it's a case where you need to say, why should I play this game? This game is stupid. I can spend my time doing something more productive.
That's right, but it is addictive. I think probably you just try to use that, and then it goes and goes and goes, and then you cannot live without it all of a sudden. Yeah. Do you remember that craze on Facebook? There was a couple of years ago. There was the farming kind of thing, and everybody had farms, and they were sharing those cows and all this stuff. And you know what? I tried that, and in a couple of weeks, I found myself in the middle of the big, huge farm with hundreds of cows, which needed feeding at the certain periods of time. Yeah, but after a while, I decided no, it was taking too much time. It was like, for a while, it was interesting and fun, but then it was a chore, you know, and it took so much time. I said, no, my life is too busy for this kind of thing. Yeah, but for some time, I was there, you know, on that farm. So I can imagine, I can see how it can, you know, suck you inside, you know, those big farms, and you know, feeding cows and cutting the grass. Yeah, it can be addictive.
But what made you crave that kind of activity? Was your life empty to some point where you felt like you had
Actually,
no purpose? You know,
yeah, actually, yes. Yeah, I had serious problems in my life, it was like the way to get out of it, just forget about stuff and do something dull, boring, and, like some steps, you needed to follow those steps. It was like therapy of the kind, Yes.
And maybe the young generation's fascination with this technology is that problem. Maybe they are screaming that their life feels empty and they need something to fill the void.
Right. Oh.
Okay, it's a very precious point, and let me insert two remarks. And as always, I will be an advocate for this stuff. And the first one, when I was young, what we do today? We jump from trees and farm sheds, right? So it's the same like Pokemons, and we do it for free. We do it for because you cannot. I can. Why not?
It was a real thing. It was experience, and now it is artificial. It's not the real thing.
Yes, it's real thing, but not many. Some people now without hands,
right?
Like that. So the Pokemon not so unsafe as it seems for me. Yes, and another point about controlling that technology control us. Of course, it's true. I found that I check my email twice since we started talking because it just.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Because it's just a habit to take a phone and okay, I have a new message, and I feel uncomfortable when I don't have phone near to me. When I was traveling this summer and without internet, it was a hard times for me. How I cannot check what's happening in the world, how is my friends and so on. So it's true.
Yes.
But I start to think about my youth, and as I remember, my mother told me the same about another things. They told me that motorcycles and rock and roll make you addicted. They control you.
Yeah. That rock and roll they're all talking about. Yes, addictive stuff, right?
Yes, it was the same. I don't have the phone in that case, but I have some girlfriends and motorbikes, and I don't know what is worse. What is more dangerous? So my point again that it's not about technology, it's not about phones, it's about people. We are such creature. We like to be addicted. We like to have fun, and we always find something to be addicted to. Does it count for advocate speech?
Yeah.
And we can see that now Teacher Lee checked his email.
I was doing something else.
Multitasking. Yeah.
Multitasking. Yeah.
Another thing.
Could we go back to the questions, because
yes,
the speaker talks about that technology isolate us. What about that? What do you think about that? That's the reason of this, all this speaking, the speech.
I tried to ask to this question by my long story about my grandmother, and that's in a few words, I don't think that the technology isolates us. It just changes the way how we communicate.
It depends on the nature of your communications, I think. In my case, my daughter's 28 years old, and she lives far away. And what I do is when I eat out in a restaurant for breakfast, I will take the opportunity to text to her. And we communicate by text for a half an hour, maybe twice a week. And if I didn't have that texting ability, we probably would not communicate at all, because it's convenient to type something, and then I can eat while she's thinking about it and sending me an answer. Then I get her answer, and I can respond to it, and then I can eat some more. It enables me to communicate with her asynchronously as I have a moment of free time, or I have time to think about it and type it in. So we actually have some pretty meaningful conversations sometimes. But without the cell phone, we probably wouldn't have that communication at all. So in that case, it's a good thing.
Diana, would you like to add something?
No, I'm just thinking about my ways of communicating with my relatives. So, you know, sometimes I find myself okay, in a very convenient position with all this technology. So I can tell you that I really created this alone kind of environment, you know. But I am pretty comfortable in this frame, you know. I feel at ease. But I also realize that I would like my daughter to learn how to communicate with other people, and she is struggling with that. So because I'm spending so much time with her, she can communicate with me, but that's not enough, you know. But because I am alone most of the time, and she has to be with me, she's restricted, you know, limited to my company. Well, I don't think it is too good for her. That's why I decided to send her to her grandmother. Yay! I am alone now. So, for some time at least, you know. Yeah, but I think it is still problematic for younger generation. They cannot communicate the way we had when we didn't have all this technology. We had each other, and inevitably we had to communicate with one another. We had to climb those trees. We had to jump from those roofs, you know, all together. But we had to communicate in order to come up with this idea, you know, and get to that roof. So I don't know. I would love my child to not to jump off the roof, of course, but to you know, to ask someone to do something with her, and not to sit at the computer and spend time with her friend at the same room, watching the same Pokemon Go game, you know, and doing this instead of communicating and jumping around and climbing something. Well.
Okay. Gerard, do you have a own answer?
Yes. No, it's about isolation and this feeling of being lonely, because I don't share it. I live alone. I'm living alone, and I don't feel lonely. I don't feel solitude. And the speakers says that these people want to reach out to many people, and that's the reason they use the internet to communicate and to reach as many people as they can. But I don't think why people feel alone. I'm wondering.
But solitude and well, loneliness is not the same, you know. It is not the same. So solitude is a nice thing when you have this time to think about things which are important to you. And lonely person, he longs to you know, for communication, but he, you know, he cannot find this company probably. That's, I think that she differentiates that. Solitude is a good thing, a positive thing, when you have this time to self-reflect, and loneliness is the thing when you are eager to communicate with someone but you don't have this company. I love my solitude. I love being alone, but I don't feel lonely as well. So.
And I would I like the comment, teacher Lee's comment about async communication, about asynchronous communication, because I found that that type of communication is very convenient for me. It's extremely convenient. I answer when I have time. People answer me when they have time, and it's so much more convenient than the phone call when break my work or something, or my sleep or something else. So many times I feel guilty when my mother call me in inappropriate time, and I cannot answer her good, and I
Yes.
want to I want to close this answer and this call, and don't know why, and I feel ashamed. It was inconvenient, but now with async communication, it's very good. I can share a photo of her grandson in a second, give some comment, and it works. It works perfectly. But I have to admit, it's changed our way to communicate, changed it drastically, because there are many things which we cannot discuss in this way, and
Sure.
in the same time we got many things which we don't have before. And it's a very interesting topic. I think that this asynchronous communication may be another topic, another general topic for us somewhere, because
Yeah.
it's very interesting for me at least.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was going to say another aspect of it is if you have face-to-face communications, if you've got 5 kids in a group physically in the same place,
I wouldn't.
yeah, unusual case,
Yeah.
and they want to do something together, they have to negotiate. You know, I want to go buy ice cream. Well, I want to go ride a bike. Well, I want to go see a movie. They've got to decide one thing to do together.
Right.
And that requires them to negotiate. Well, I tell you what, if we all go see a movie today, then tomorrow we'll go bicycling. And they have to compromise and work with each other to satisfy everybody. So they learn social skills like negotiating and trying to accommodate the other person. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. But when you're on cell phones, you don't have that skill. You're not practicing that kind of a skill. So I think not being physically together all the time, you lose a lot of social interaction type skills that.
Right, and you cannot read those cues, yes, social cues, because you don't have this experience. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But we just now in the process of making new cues, some smiles and something else, some tone of the language which we use in text. So I think the people solve it somehow.
Nowadays those cues can be read, in any way possible, and it depends upon the reader of these cues,
Right, right. Because we are in the beginning of process of making a new way of communication.
Okay. Okay, so they will never see the end. Okay, I get it.
Gerard, I think
I agree. I agree that writing communication is very different from real communication, but the way we are communicating right now, I think it's pretty close as we were in a room all together talking. I think that's pretty close, and with the technology in the future, that will be more realistic.
Gerard, we're old timers. That's why we're communicating this way. Young people just probably will sit here and send us short words and wouldn't talk that much,
I pretend that I understand half of that.
Okay.
And sometimes I like to use that. I like this language. I don't understand why people crown about it. It's very good. It's funny. But I just recall that you post a post on Loop with that inappropriate example of.
Sure. Yes. Saving time example. Right. I remember.
Yes, but I think it's just invent us new languages, not especially English. We have the same in my Russian. We have a new Russian for texting, so it's okay.
That's right.
Gerard, I don't know. We answered to a few questions, I think. So I don't know where to start again.
Okay.
And we have a good vocabulary section as always from Teacherly, but this time we have it in a different way. We have an exercise before the class, and I ask everyone to to try to solve it. I don't know, it's a riddle or something. because
Was it a riddle? Okay.
it was a hard riddle for me.
A riddle.
Yes, I didn't solve it.
Just a vocabulary test. Yeah, it's just a vocabulary test.
That's because you were checking your email too many
Yes.
times while doing it. Yeah, I know. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I have a class in a couple
Okay.
minutes. I'm going to have to go.
Hmm.
Yes, and we are ending because it's a time for us. So nice class as always. I don't know what to add.
Right.
As always, we need how to say it, reviews. We need suggestions about new topics, about
Right.
questions, new questions, and everything else. And maybe someone wants to be a new facilitator for next class. So please write in our discussion category.
Hmm.
Okay.
See you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure to see you all after such a
you.
long recess.
Yes,
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, I'll see y'all
Bye.
later.
See ya.